What is going on, guys? Today we are looking at 97 centre mid Martial. The 4-star, 5-star, 6 foot high, can be right mid or centre mid, so there is two different positions that you can go with. Obviously we are all liking him as a striker, but this is a major upgrade from him. A +6 compared to his previous version, and now he does have a 4-star, 5-star instead of a 4-4. We've got flare passes, injury prone, finesse and outside of the foot as the traits, and in terms of the stats, we've definitely hit a jackpot with him. As a centre mid, the differences between the card, we've mainly got 1 more pace, we've lost out on 4 shooting, we've gained a whole 13 on the passing, we have gained 2 more dribbling, obviously a lot more on the defence, a 42 upgrade, and obviously he's gained 16 on that physicality as well. Again, he's going to suit that 4-1-2-1-2 second variation where you've got the 2 centre mids obviously being a little bit more narrow. He could play in that left or right hand side kind of like a right mid, but always coming back and forward, which will just add to the amount of defence that you've got. So it'd be very interesting to see where he can go in that position. Obviously a very nice statted card, and most definitely one that is going to come in at a pretty penny. Drop down from 4 million coins to 2.6 at the moment, and we'll see how far that goes after the review. I'd like to tell you about skycoach.gg. They offer many features within the FIFA franchise, from FIFA coins to FIFA Weekend League boosts, from trusted sellers, pro players, and are the best prices on the market currently. They have fast delivery, high quality services, lots of games, and also a cashback program. The more coins you buy, the more eligible you are for cashback options. So if you want to buy FIFA coins at the best price, click the link in the description of this video. It will be active promo code for 10% discount from my subscribers. All you have to use is the code JT11 at the checkout to receive this bonus. On to the video. Right then, let's give him a go in this centre mid role. Obviously the 4-star, 5-star, which is always going to be perfect for him. Okay, we will just pretend that he didn't get that, but we have got it back. That's always a bonus. But in terms of pace, he should be really good on that drive forward. Obviously, he has lost a little bit of shooting. If you kind of wanted him as a striker still, you could go with something heavy on that shooting, as realistically, what, 86 I think it's dropped down to, or 88. That most definitely is still not low enough to not consider him. Obviously, it is just the starting kind of value that you could obviously increase when you want and kind of how you want. Obviously, getting that 4-star, 5-star is going to be more beneficial in that kind of centre mid role as well. But even if you just wanted him potentially as a cam, I think you've got definite cause to put him in that sort of role. Picks the ball up nice and early, gets it to the wingers. We should have a nice pass on him as well. Obviously, being able to split the field is going to be good. It's just whether he kind of really sums himself up to somebody like a Jude, because he is personally what I would now put as my centre mid as the kind of main choice. Do we not get a free kick there? Okay, that's poor. Get the right foot Travella though. Even if you was to add the Hunter onto him, he'd end up with 99 pace, 92 shooting. The only kind of downside to him is you'd only have the 88 finishing. With the strikers that we've got now, I don't know if that would be enough alone. I think centre mid, they have kind of moved the stats around to make sure that you kind of don't do that. Get the 5-star weak foot out. Again, shooting, like I say, has been definitely dropped down enough to be able to not put him as striker without any sort of chemistry on him. And I think at the moment we're playing him with an engine, which is obviously not going to be any benefit to his finishing, which obviously adds the element of being a striker as such. But pushing the ball up seems to be fine. Carries the ball nicely. Obviously a good amount of agility, which is perfect. Oh, that is stunning. Oh, that's a good take. Does stop it right at the last there. Can we get another tackle in? Very, very nice defensive work. I think if... Oh, that's poor as well. I think if you was to kind of really want him on that attacking option still, I think a cam is probably the best position you could go with for him. Obviously, he has got that agility balance for it. I would suggest still probably going with a Hunter, because we know he has had that major boost on obviously all of his kind of assisting stats. Zaha from a right back though. But in terms of kind of going forward, I feel like the finishing of a Cam is still going to be absolutely mental compared to the 88 finishing you'd only get with a Hunter as well. So not having that bonus of the kind of finisher aspect, which you could imagine a lot of Cams have got nowadays, because naturally we've got so many at a high rated, you kind of need it. But what he could offer is obviously a great link, France, then also having kind of Premier League links. Get that chest. Oh, he's not missed it. But in terms of them, that's like the perfect links for any FIFA game. We know full well how kind of good the France special cards have been over the past few years. That would have been a great assist as well. But then in terms of kind of the defensive, if you've got a very good stacked centre mid or CDM role, then obviously he's covered defensively as almost a defensive / more attacking Cam, and having a defensive line behind him as well. It's kind of the perfect combination, as well as being absolutely rapid going forward, especially with the Hunter giving him 99 pace. It's a win-win. I just think striker might be off the cards for him, purely for the fact that that finishing is not going to be good enough compared to the strikers that we have got now. But I do think with a lot of these cards, especially only being able to see the first hour or two of price, we obviously want to know where he's kind of dropping at and what the other Shapeshifters did as well. Because obviously that's going to be a big know-how of, if he's 1,000,000 coins, I can judge him based on 1,000,000 coin players. If he's still 2.6 by kind of like the end of next week, that's on the level of the top centre mids. You maybe not getting a Hullet for that price, but most definitely you'd get a hell of a lot of very, very top end team of the season centre mids for that, which obviously then you have to take in comparison to how much is he actually worth? Is he worth them coins? Or is it all just, that's a good save, or is it all just necessarily a hyped price purely for the fact that he's Prem and French? Can we get a little 1-2 here? Can we see that ball through? That is personally my angling going completely wrong. Good take back though. Wins it back nicely. Like I say, agility wise, coming in pretty clutch with it. It's nice and crisp. Not quite as good as a winger, I must admit, but definitely got a nice rounded acceleration. Good kind of boost forward. He feels nice on the ball, which is absolutely always completely it for a centre mid / a Cam, because if you've got somebody who needs to be pushing the game up, you want him to feel comfortable on the ball. If he's blocky, if he doesn't necessarily make the agile movements that you want, that could be just a game changer for how you play. Obviously having the passing as well is always going to be nice and fun. There he is as the option. I think this is the perfect role for him. That 4-1-2-1-2 second variation. Like I said, almost utilising him as a winger is going to be absolutely ideal. Purely for the fact he has got that pace. He's got that passing. And it's just brutal down the wing watching somebody absolutely fly out of position for him. And again, this is it. That push up, you get the 1-2 with maybe a striker. We could just see him levering himself through. Nearly gets that benefit of the doubt touch there. Would have been perfect because it'd have been straight through. But it just shows the absolute usefulness that you can get with a card like this. Because instead of having your left wing that may cost you X amount, obviously, a lot of the top end left wings are coming in at a ridiculous price. You've always got this centre mid. And look at that. That is a stunning ball. Good little acceleration. Bliss past him. And then can we get another one back to him? Oh, it was beautiful. But I couldn't get the angle to shoot. Over the top. Oh, nearly. Get it back. Nice. Little change in direction again and again. Oh, God. He's gone for the attack. All the way around all of them. Left foot across with Big Verge standing with a big thigh block. And again, we're just going to take it completely wide here. He knows he's going to have to move somebody over. Can we get that ball in? That was perfect for Martial as well. Very, very greedy of my striker there. So in terms of him, he's coming in at 2.65, now 2.47. In terms of kind of other people in his position, we obviously have a Frankie de Jong at 2.8. CDM, CM, I can imagine, obviously can be a centre defensive mid or a centre back, but easily movable in a position. And we do have Seedorf as well as a CDM centre mid, coming in quite nice at 570, which is a little bit lower than I thought it'd be. In terms of last week, who did we get in centre mid? We got Depay at 408. I want to say he was a lot more expensive, so he has dropped down quite a bit. Like I said, in terms of centre mid, it all depends on your formation, which is what you kind of have to always take into consideration with these cards. because you may have a cam and a CDM, you might not have that centre mid role available. Obviously with Martial, he's pretty golden because he can play that cam role. Whether I'd really want him as a CDM, I think that might be pushing it. I feel like centre mid or cam would suit him a hell of a lot more. Very much like Jude. Jude's an absolute perfect example of absolute everything you need. Same with someone like a Goretzka. Maybe not necessarily the same sort of stats, but in terms of his kind of actual playability, is beautiful in that centre mid role. Modric and Pedri, I probably personally prefer Martial because he has that same sort of advantage of having dribbling, passing, pace, as well as then having a little bit more on that physicality, which is what I really like from Martial as well. Holds his own, got the 4-5, which is always nice, and I think naturally fits himself into that mould. If he can go for anything between $1 million and $1.5 million, I think that's not a bad price, especially as we've always got to take into consideration the Prem tax, the French tax as well, because we've got endless amount of top-end special cards. Dembele as one in this week, most definitely. So it's an interesting one to see where he can kind of fit in there, but most definitely a good centre mid. Maybe not necessarily the best, but definitely a top one more than anything. So I'd give him, if I was comparing him to Jude, I'd say he's like a 9.8. He's really not missing out on too much. A 5.5 would be nice for a bit more agility bonus. Maybe the defensive and shooting could be up that little bit more, but everything else is absolutely spot on. So let me know down below what you think about Martial. Make sure you like and subscribe and check the video on screen. Peace.